We are back for year 3 of the Bettor In-Laws podcast. And Matt, it's taken us 3 years to figure out that we should have been doing a future show this whole damn time, huh?
Yeah, you know what? It's the people have spoken though. The people have spoken. We checked in with the regular listeners, at least some of them anyways. And everyone was in favor of it. And I think it's a
And
great idea because we
yeah,
would have really cashed in last year even more so than we did. But I am fired up to be back anyways. I'll talk football in July anytime.
and also the fact that I we're officially just an NFL podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's
I
it.
feel like the last 2 years we've wrapped up the Super Bowl show and be like, hey, we'll come back for March Madness.
And
And
then we never do.
no.
Well, you know why I don't want to?
On because why?
Because I
Why?
run a pool that I try to win every
Yeah.
year. And I
That is
don't need anybody else being like, yeah, I'm just gonna take this.
yeah, that's a good point. Like, how big is that pool,
It's a couple hundred
people
people.
wise?
We're up to
Yeah,
like over
that's
200
it's a
last year.
doozy. It's a
That's a
doozy of
decent
a pool.
pool. Decent enough pool that I'm like,
Yeah,
it's a good pot.
and I'll be honest, the break is very much needed. Like, I
Yeah, it's a
understand we're just
grind.
like we're fucking around, having a good time, talking NFL football, and yes, but the week to week is
It's
it's
lovely,
tough.
isn't it?
On top of the work life and the kid, the dad life. It's tough. It's tough.
It's a grind.
The
It's a
much
grind.
it's exactly it's a grind,
I will
especially
say
for
though,
you.
for the
Hmm.
people listening early, will get this inside information that will no longer be inside. I do promise to do more content this year for people. I know we don't talk Thursday night football on the show, but I'm gonna go live on Instagram every Thursday and give you a
Oh,
play. I'm gonna do a play, whether it's the game, whether it's a prop, whether it's a side, a total, whatever. We'll figure something out, but I'll at least give out a play for Thursday nights because I get the questions a lot in our inbox or on social media or through text. Um, so I'm gonna do that. We'll keep doing the college stuff, give out the college picks on Saturdays, and then on Sunday. We'll do something around the props or like line changes. I'll do something
okay.
on Sunday mornings too. We'll talk about what that looks like if you want to be involved in that. I don't even know if I threw that at you yet, but um,
No, you didn't.
I
But
didn't. I
I'm
don't think I
fine with that.
did. But I was
I'm
just
fine
thinking
with that.
about how we can get more content out there for the people because lines
Hmm.
change and not everyone can listen early. We try to do it early enough on Wednesdays so that you guys can jump on the lines. But when lines move, feelings change, right? So
Sure.
um,
Oh, we've had that happen multiple instances.
plenty of times,
Yeah,
plenty of times.
definitely. Yeah, I
But
like it. I like it, and it's a good opportunity to tell our audience out there to follow us on our socials, at Better In Laws on X and Instagram and TikTok, right? Um,
yeah.
and of course on YouTube, to subscribe to us on YouTube. We are obviously a podcast, but we also started publishing on YouTube as of last year more frequently. So please subscribe to YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on podcasts. It's all very much helpful. And if you're new to the show, welcome. Appreciate you joining us. I'm Tucker Silva. Join alongside my brother-in-law, Matt Prisco. And if you are new, I'm pretty much the Joe, the regular guy sitting from his couch watching football intently. I'm a red zone guy. And Matt is the better, the very professional better.
Well,
And he's good.
professional in easy terms. Not, I have a day job. Just
Yeah,
like to always call that out.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Like, if you didn't have your day job, you would be a hardcore professional gambler.
Yeah,
But you
that's
get
the
to
goal.
pay the
That's my
bills.
goal.
You got to get
That's
your
the goal.
bennies.
Yeah, we
I get
gotta
it.
we gotta get the kids out of the house first.
Got a whole career to worry about. Sorry,
Yep.
I'm sucking on fruit salad like
Eat your
Belichick right
fruit
here.
salad live right here. First
Listen,
episode. Just
it's
sucking pineapples down like it's
pulling a
nobody's business.
Belichick right now.
Yeah, little. Well, makes me Jordan, the annoying one.
My apologies for that. Jordan, if you will.
Jordan, sorry, yeah.
It was a bad piece of melon. I don't know what the hell
Oh,
that
yeah.
was.
You don't want bad melon. Yikes.
Tastes like soap.
Ugh.
Anywho,
Tough start to the show here.
so this is what we're gonna do. Since this is our first dive into futures, we're gonna start with AFC today, looking at win totals, divisions, perhaps make the playoffs. I
We
know
could do
Matt.
that. We could do that. I'm ready for that.
I know Matt. You mentioned you have potentially 6 plays you want to give out today.
I've made 6 futures bets for the AFC already, as far as win totals go. And if they're still at a reasonable price, we will give those out. I definitely have 3 that I really still like on the board. Won't do like a best bet. I can give you a best bet of the bunch, but it's not like
That's
a,
up to you, sir. I'm
it's
not
just not like a
expecting a best bet
normal.
out of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't rate it the same way I rate like the regular best bets week to week. It's a lot more that goes into that.
Right. So, this is obviously going to be separate from our um standings from last year,
Yeah, we'll
which
give
is
out different
entirely
stats
different.
for it. We'll
Yeah.
at the end of the year we'll recap. We'll talk about it all year long anyways, but as at the end of the year we'll give you guys kind of the rundown. We always do like the weekly recaps and
Yeah.
how we did, but we'll do
Mhm.
something for futures at the end of the year as well.
So we'll do AFC this week, next week, obviously the NFC, and we'll do another one after that to kind of dive into the novelty props, aka MVP betting, and maybe potentially any props that stand out.
Yeah, there's a bunch
We'll
of
do that.
props, player props that we can go through and yeah,
That'll
excited
be
about it.
the third and final series of our futures series of podcasts, and then that should take us right through training camp, and then
Yeah.
we'll be ready to go for the regular season. But let's get right into it, Matt. AFC picture here. Uh, Seeing the usual suspects atop the the Super Bowl odds or the AFC winners, be it
Mhm.
the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens. The usual suspects are out there. Do you want to? Where do you want to start? Do you want to start in the AFC East?
Yeah, let's
Work
start in
our
the
way
East.
through it.
Let's
Okay.
start in the East.
All right, and then we'll look at the AFC picture overall to come out of the AFC, and we'll go through that.
Yeah.
All right. So AFC East, obviously the biggest news in the AFC East is surrounding the New England Patriots and the firing of Gerard Mayo and the hiring of Mike Vrabel to bring in some much needed stability to the New England Patriots organization that has just been, to put it bluntly, chaotic over the past couple of years. So hopefully Vrabel comes in and rights the ship. But to win the AFC East, I'm seeing them at plus 550 and win total at 8.5.
8.5.
What it's up to now. Matt, why don't you go first in
Well,
terms of the Patriots and their win total?
don't hate me, Tuck. I think everyone's a little too bullish. I think the line's probably right. I think 8.5 feels right. You can see them. You look at their schedule on paper. I can check off. "Ooh, they're gonna win this game. They're gonna win that one. They're gonna lose this one." But like,
Much better,
reality
much
is,
easier strength of schedule this year
yeah,
for the
this
Patriots.
year they
Much
look like
easier.
they have 9 wins on paper, right? But then you also have to factor in this is a 3-4 win football team last year. And I know that they had Mike Vrabel is the coach. They'll definitely be improved. I have no doubt about that. So much of this relies on Drake May, who showed signs of flashes last year and looks like you have the future quarterback in New England. I'd feel
Yep.
good about that as a Pats fan if I were you. Um, and that's the key, right? I think the defense was solid. They dealt with some injuries, started to fall off a little bit. There's things to like there, but if I had to go one way, I'm still going under. I just think that the way Drake May plays scares me a little bit. I mean, anybody can get hurt, but when you take a little extra risks, couple concussions last year, I don't love that. But that's also
Yeah.
his style. It's how he plays the game. So I'll pause. Go ahead.
To Vrabel's credit, he did point that out back in January,
Yeah.
being something along the lines of being less aggressive
Mhm.
in terms of that and the concussion worries for Drake May.
Yep.
Um, so you know what? I know that it's very optimistic here in Patriot land. I think it's a little too optimistic in terms of over 8.5. I think that's asking a lot for a team
Mhm.
that has won 4 games in the past couple of seasons, right?
Yep.
Um, like, does Mike Vrabel and the second year of Drake May add 4 wins? I say close, but
Yeah.
no. I have them right at 8 games, Matt.
Yep.
So I would technically be the under,
Hmm.
but I think that they could sneak into the playoffs with a wild card.
Hmm.
I don't think they're going to challenge in the AFC East unless there was some catastrophic injury to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Hmm.
I don't see that, so I'm not really going anywhere near that plus 550 to win the AFC East. But I'm right there at 8 wins for the New England Patriots, so I'd lean the under there. I think there's going to be a couple of teams here in the running for the AFC East that for dead last in this division, and
Hmm.
obviously the Jets is the obvious choice. And what's their win total at? The Jets.
Uh, Jets right now. Hold on, let me grab them. What's
I
going
need
on there?
everything in front of you
I
today.
have everything in front of me. I'm just doing a lot of scrolling because I want to give the best live line I got.
Sure, sure.
Um, Especially when you look at DraftKings, they have like you could bet any game number like 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. So I
Yeah,
just want to give you the best available. Um, from what
I'm
I
seeing
see for the
5.5,
Jets, 5.5, six
and
and a
then
half. You can get over 6.5 at plus 120, over 5.5 minus 160. So
okay.
either way you go there, depending on the over you want, or if you want it under.
I think the other challenger obviously is not the Patriots, but it would be the Miami Dolphins, who are clearly in a rebuild
Mhm.
phase. You just saw them deal away Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, and you got Tyreek Hill being weird this offseason. He might be on the trade block mid-season. I think that coach Mike McDaniel is very much on the hot seat there in Miami.
Agree.
Would not shock me in the least bit to see the Dolphins kind of collapse here this year and focus more on 2026.
One of my bets I want to give out at the show, Tuck,
All
Miami
right.
Dolphins under 7.5 minus 105. I totally agree with you. I think this number's too high. I think we're going to have huge step back, especially with the health of Tua. I mean, again, we don't bet futures based off injuries because anybody can get hurt at any time. But the guy just, he's one concussion away from missing an entire season at this point or more, right? Like, and on top of it, everything else you just mentioned, like they're trading away a lot of their veterans. Tyreek Hill's an absolute head case. One day he's happy, one day he's not. So for me, I love the Dolphins under 7.5 at a minus 105 number, which I think there's value. I can't see how this team wins 8 games this year, the way that the way that they have this roster. I do like the addition of Minka Fitzpatrick as opposed to I do think Jalen Ramsey's seen better days. We'll talk about Pittsburgh when we get there. But Jonnu Smith was a huge part of their offense last year. I mean, him and A Chain were the two guys
Yeah,
that
he
you could
busted out.
actually rely on, right? Waddle's always banged up. Hill was banged up. Plus, he's a head case. Two is banged up. Like, there's too many things. And that defense, I thought at times, like, saved them a little bit. I don't think they're going to get that same production out of that defense this year. And I'm pretty confident in this under 7.5. So it was my
No.
first play of the show
Um,
for futures.
Also want to note that Teron Armstead did retire on that
Did
offensive
retire.
line,
Yep.
so that's another big loss there for the
Yep.
Dolphins. I completely see this as a forced reset year for the Miami Dolphins. It would not shock me in the least bit to see Tyreek Hill traded midseason.
To
What do you think about 6.5? Because I'm seeing that on FanDuel, not 7.5.
Yeah, what FanDuel does, and you'll notice this, they're skipping 7.5 because the line is basically the real line's 7.5.
Bastard.
So they're trying to get you to do these things. It's kind of interesting. They'll eventually pop it, but they do this early on where
Yeah.
you'll know the line of what it actually is because they don't let you hit it. But but yeah, under 6.5, if you want a plus money bet, you could go for it. I'm Look, I mean, if you're giving me an extra win in pocket and I'm only laying minus 105, I'm taking that all day over the 6.5 at plus 150. I think the value there, it's to get that seventh win, which I think they can do. They still have talent on the roster. It's not like they can't, they're just going to be a bunch of stiffs out there. They do have good name players out there. They do have A Chain, who's one of the best backs in football.
Middle of the
They
pack in terms of strength of schedule.
yep, middle of the pack. Good thing you said that. Strength of schedule drives me crazy a little bit with the futures because it's easy to get
Don't
caught
like
up
it.
on like I don't like it
Okay.
because
Fair.
think about this from the NFL perspective. How many teams come out of nowhere and make the playoffs. Like every year, there's going to be a couple of teams that are going to be in the playoffs that you did not expect, right? Washington last year coming out of absolutely nowhere.
We were high on them.
Well, we
High
were,
on them.
but I'm saying the average person is going to look at Washington on a schedule last year and chalk like, rookie quarterback, chalk it up, win, you know. Um, it's things like that. I think like you got to be careful of that, right? Because we know that the season's not going to play out the way that the strength of schedule says it should, right? Like right now, it looks like, 49ers have one of the easiest schedules on paper, sure, but that can change. You don't know until you get into the season, right? And that's the thing about the NFL. Teams turn it around a lot quicker. Some take a lot longer that you expect. So, we get into the NFC show. I have a few more plays on that, but there's a team that I really think like everyone's so high on that I'm just like, I want to see it first. And their win total would be my favorite win total of all. So we'll get there next week. But um, yeah, I just be careful with strength of schedule. I think it's interesting to look at for sure. But at the end of the day, it's not going to align to exactly how last year played. It just won't.
Well, while we go down this road here, man, and we'll get back to the next division here, in the AFC North here in a moment. But aside from strength of schedule, what else would you tell bettors to look out for in terms of futures betting, whether that's in positive or negative?
I focus on the individual team itself, the changes they've made. What did they struggle with last year? Did they address those changes? Right? We'll get to Cincinnati in a little bit. Their defense was horrific. Did they make enough changes? We'll talk about it. But like those are the things that I look at. What's the vibe of the offseason, right? Like I don't like what I've seen in Miami. I think you said earlier that McDaniel's on the hot seat. I completely agree. I think he's been questioned. Is he a good enough head coach? I think he's got a good brain, he's a good offensive mind, but does he have enough to continue there if the heat gets hot, right? Real early, they get off to a slow start. How does that team recover from it? So those are the things I look for. The other thing is, how's their schedules early? Like if you have a schedule that looks like a gauntlet on paper, and again, I just told you not to go off it, but if you're playing like Buffalo, Kansas City, these power teams that have good quarterbacks out of the gate, you could get off to a slower start than you like. How does that team recover? And those are some key things that I look at when I am looking into these future bets. It's not all like a perfect science. Miami could have an easy 4 weeks and it's still bet they're under because I just don't think they're talented enough right now.
All right, let's head over to the AFC North here. And biggest storyline out of that defense this past offseason was clearly the Pittsburgh Steelers adding Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, as we mentioned earlier. But on the offensive side of the ball, major overhaul in the quarterback room with the inevitable signing of Aaron Rodgers, which wasn't dragged out whatsoever and wasn't annoying at all.
No, not at all.
Just
And
dope.
we didn't know it was coming.
But nonetheless, Aaron Rodgers in the mix with Mike Tomlin there. I'm very interested to see how that chemistry plays out between quarterback and coach. And the obvious addition of DK Metcalf and the subtraction of George Pickens, who's
Mhm.
in his third year as
Yeah.
a wideout there. So that was a quick trigger on that one.
Yeah.
Get him out of there. Clearly wasn't a fan of, or Mike Tomlin was not a fan of Pickens.
No.
Um, I feel like the overwhelming sentiment with the Steelers is that this is going to blow up in their face in terms of bringing on Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I can get there yet because I think that Tomlin still is a legit solid NFL coach. And I think if anybody can get to Rodgers, it's probably him. And the defense is clearly going to be a top five defense this year. Still stacked. TJ Watt's situation is definitely one to keep an eye out for. But if you get a top five defense and you get like a game manager, a solid game manager out of Aaron Rodgers, and he keeps his head on straight, then it wouldn't shock me if they're back in the playoffs again this year.
Second bet of the show. Give me over 8.5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's just take this. Yeah, look,
It's way
Russ,
too negative, right?
way too negative,
Yeah.
and Mike Tomlin just. This has nothing to do with the Mike Tomlin's always over 500 thing. Maybe a little bit, but like, do we think he's going 8-9 with that team, that defense? No, I don't. I think Aaron Rodgers is a clear upgrade from Russell Wilson, and we could argue this if you're not a Rodgers guy. I get it. He's definitely fell off a little bit. No one's debating that. but so did Russ. And I'll be honest, like they were still winning football games with Russ throwing lollipops up to George Pickens, and that was what they were doing for their offense. So like now you have a quarterback who let's also call it what it is. When you go to the Jets, it's not exactly the most successful organization of all time, and that was a nightmare. It was a disaster from the start, and it ended in a disaster. But towards the end of last year, he started playing pretty well. I know people weren't really watching the Jets that much, but I know he had Devontae and he's force feeding him and Wilson, but he was fine like at the end of the year. And
Except
I
the
think,
Pats in Foxborough.
yeah, exactly. And honestly,
Not that
I
that's saying much, but
well,
still.
no, but I mean, but still, like I I don't see how this team doesn't win 9 games. They upgraded a quarterback. Najee Harris wasn't a big loss, in my opinion. I think he fits the Chargers more now in the way that Harbaugh plays the
Well,
running
Mr.
game, and
Fireworks Eye himself.
Mr. Fireworks Eye, yeah. But I love the rookie draft pick, Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I think he's going to give a nice compliment to Jalen Warren, who I think is an underrated back anyway, small guy, but he gets the job done every time he gets the football in his hands. Like, and DK Metcalf, you said it. That's an upgrade over George Pickens. And Pickens is a great receiver. He's an absolute head case.
Lightly
So
overrated too.
yeah. And like, DK is he comes from Seattle, so obviously not a big fan of him personally. But now I can like him. I think he's just a better professional receiver. He's not going to cry if he only gets 3 targets, but I promise you, he's going to get hammered with targets because that's what Rodgers is going to do. He's going to feed him. Uh, I like the changes they made, and again, you said it. That defense, I agree, top 5 defense in this league. I think Cleveland's got a chance to be one of the worst teams in the league. So the division's a little tough. I will say they'll probably split with Cincinnati, but like at the end of the day, can you take one from the Ravens? They seem like they always do during the regular season, and then it's the rest of the schedule. And looking at it, I just think Pittsburgh's improved, much improved, in a year that I was kind of like, at some point, do the Steelers just hit the reset button? Because it feels like they have another year of like the wild card rounds, probably as far as they can get. But to get to the wild card round, you got to get 9 wins, and I'm taking that all day. Over 8.5 -120 is locked in for me on the Steelers.
Last point I'll make on the Steelers here before we touch on the other teams in this division is that throughout his career, Aaron Rodgers has never really had a stud tight end. I'm not going to say that Pat Freiermuth is a stud, but I think that he's
Solid.
easily might be the best tight end that Aaron Rodgers is going to play with. He
Good.
really never had a good tight end to throw to, like Pat Freiermuth. Not to mention Jonnu Smith, who's kind of a
Yeah.
hybrid.
Yeah.
That I'm looking forward to.
Yep. I agree. I'd have to go back and look at who he's played with at tight end. He caught me off
Yeah,
guard
we
there
don't
with
have
that
to.
one.
Maybe
I
I might
can't
be
think of
missing
one off the
somebody,
top of my
but
head though.
I vote. I'm a fantasy football guy, and I never recall just like a solid tight end that Aaron Rodgers has played with.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like Tyler Conklin last year, like no, not really.
No, and he had a pretty decent year.
Um, all right, that was my final point of the Steelers there. The Cincinnati Bengals, they brought back T. Higgins with much dragged out drama there and bringing him back, but he is back in the mix. Obviously, we have Jamar Chase. Trey Hendrickson is very much up in the air. He's pissed off with his contract. What are your thoughts on the Bengals here? And what is their win total currently?
I love Joe Burrow. So by default, what he did last year, putting that team on his back, is unbelievable. But did they do enough on the defensive side of the ball is my question with this team. They're right now, they're basically at 10 wins is the line. It's not, if you want over 9.5, you got to lay -150. If you want under 10.5, it's -200. So like you're looking in over 10.5, it's +1 or +150. So you're looking, the line's about 10. Um, Not one I'm willing to get at because I'm not sure they did enough on defense. They definitely addressed some of it, re-signing BJ Hill, brought in TJ Slayton on the defensive line. So they did try to get that, but there's questions still up in the air with Trey Hendrickson at this time. Is he going to be traded? He wants a contract. So like what's going on there? Like they got to get him. They got to get him signed. They did sign T. Higgins and Chase both to long-term deals to keep that core together. So the offensive side of the ball is going to be perfectly fine. I have no questions about that. The question again just comes down to, did they do enough on the defensive side of the ball? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I love Burrow. I have all the faith in the world in him. I want to take a bunch of risks with Joe Burrow. I think they're a playoff team this year.
I do too. Yeah.
So, but I think the line's right. I think 10 wins is probably right. If they get Trey Hendrickson back signed, I'd hit over 10 and a half. I would. I think he makes that big. I think that's a big difference to that team. Of course it is. I mean, it's one of the best defensive linemen in football.
Any
So
interest in the division for the Bengals at plus 240? I'm seeing to win
it's
the
definitely
AFC North.
it's definitely worth a sprinkle in my mind. I've not played it, though I want to. It's another one I want to play. The Ravens are damn good though. They're
Yep.
loaded. They're loaded. It's hard. I feel like it's going to
Well,
be
let's
the
go
Ravens
there.
again.
Let's go there. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley. They brought in Jesus, who's the wideout? I'm blanking on.
Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. What other move they made?
Oh, I signed Cooper Rush. Plays just like Lamar. Same guy, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That
just
doesn't
kidding.
really do much for me.
Kidding. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Um, they're one of these teams that they build through the draft. They're solid. They get things to fall to them, you know. Um, but they just have Lamar. They re-signed Derrick Henry. Like they've made
Oh, they brought it.
moves.
They signed Jari Alexander. Solid addition to that.
Jair Alexander. That's right.
Yeah,
He just signed over the last couple of
I,
weeks. So
I know
like,
that he hasn't had the greatest past couple of years, but still, might be a change in scenery. Is all that Alexander needed, and I think he's going to fit in nicely there.
mhm. Yep,
Um,
another weapon on defense. Like, and that's what they needed to fix a little bit. Their defense was leaky at times. Um, it's tough to go against the Ravens, though. I hate to be chalk here, but
they are. I'm sorry. I'm seeing term. I know you're not a strength of schedule guy, but I still want to point it out. I'm seeing
yeah,
that they have the second hardest schedule.
yeah, makes sense. Finished first in the AFC North last year. You're gonna play the hard schedule on paper again. The Kansas Cities, the Buffaloes. So like, yeah, and I think week one's against Buffalo again too. Sunday Night Football. So that'll be a good game right out of the bat. Um,
11
just
and a half wins, by the way.
It's a tough number. 12. But you could see it happening, right? I mean, it's
Sure.
their division could be tough though, and that's where it gets into. But they're one of the best teams in the league, so no play on the Ravens right now for me.
All right. Anything else on the AFC North?
I think the Browns are going to be very bad. I don't. I mean, they have
You
six
have to
quarterbacks or
sprinkle them for
whatever, but
worst team in
like
the league. I know the Saints are probably the favorite, right? But I'm
they're
sorry.
even on the. Then they're both
Are you?
plus 400 right now.
Mm, I would. I would
Got the
look.
Saint. I got the Saints to be the worst. Like right before Derek Carr retired, that was nice.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's the Saints, but you could easily see the Browns. I mean, Jesus,
Yeah. It's a
the
mess there.
quarterback's a mess. They
It's a
got to
mess.
figure it out.
It's a shame too because there was a stretch over the past couple of years where it looked like they were finally putting it together, and now they're
Yeah,
just back of the dumps again.
I hated the draft move. I hated the trade. I hate Mason Graham. He was the one guy I did not want. He's a good player, but not that high. I think he's undersized. He plays like a bull in college, but that's college. We'll see how it translates to the NFL. Their defense should be okay, but
Miles
like,
extended
ugh,
Miles Garrett, yeah,
just
but
feel like they're
if I was
wasting
them, I
Garrett.
would have unloaded Garrett.
Yeah,
That's just
it's
me.
tough to do, but like, yeah.
And gets just rebuild through the draft again. Um, all right, let's go to the AFC South here. Very, very interesting division here, aside from I'd say the Tennessee Titans, who are probably third worst team in the league here. Um, Texans plus 110 to win the division there. Looking for a bounce back season from what looked like a sophomore slump from CJ Stroud there. But they went out and drafted Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, said goodbye to Stephon Diggs. But that wideout room looks pretty fast if you pair those
Yeah.
guys with Nico Collins there. So giving some much needed weapons to Stroud there. But I guess what are your thoughts on this division overall? And should we look at any potential underdogs to win the division like the Colts?
Oh, not the Colts for me. Here's the thing. this division is going to be the most competitive in well, the West could be pretty damn good too, but I say competitive, but I don't mean in like a great way. Um, I think Houston bounces back. I have to think Stroud has a better year this year than he did last. I
Well,
definitely think he had that sophomore slump. I think you see him bounce back. Christian Kirk's a nice addition with the Tank Dell injury. Not coming back anytime soon there. To go with Collins in addition to what you said earlier. So I really like that. Um, they did lose Laremy Tunzel as well as Diggs, so we'll see
they
where that
didn't
goes.
they didn't just lose Tunsil. They traded his
Oh, they
ass,
traded him. They traded him, yeah.
which was like,
Um,
huh?
yeah, but I love Derek Stingley. I really like the defense. You know, I I I think that team is probably the team to beat in the South. I think anything with a plus on it is probably worth a bet. Here's my thing. If I like a dark horse in this, I like the Jags. Maybe I'm getting ahead of
Too much
myself.
love though. Too much love.
Maybe, but I do like them. I do like them this year. I think the defense can be better. They needed to address the secondary. They did that a little bit with Jordan Lewis. Um, I'm not a big Travis Hunter guy. You knew that. I've talked to you about this. I was not like, but that said, I think he can play a nice role offensively. You can play him if I don't think they're going to play him two ways as much as people think. This is the NFL. If he can do it, I'll bite my tongue on it. But
Yeah.
man, I just don't see it. He's too small, in my opinion. I think he's more of a slot receiver guy in the NFL than he is an outside receiver. He's not a great route runner. Not that a lot of college guys are, to be honest. There's few and far between that are really good route runners, like a Lad McConkey, someone like that was a great route runner in college. But like for the most part, it's different when you get to the NFL. So we'll see if he can make that adjustment. Um,
I'll tell
it,
you this thing about the Jags though, and I'm not the first guy to say this, but I love this kid James Gladstone, who's like younger
Gladstone,
than
yeah,
us.
yeah,
Uh,
Gladstone's,
just balls,
yeah.
balls, and trading up for Travis Hunter.
That was a ballsy move. They have a he's an analytics guy, and their new coach is a little bit of a Liam Cohen.
Yeah,
It's going to
I don't
be
know.
interesting.
I like Liam Cohen in terms of being, a strong offensive mind, but I don't know if he's head coach material.
Here's my thing,
Kind
Tuck.
of scares me about the Jags.
Can Trevor Lawrence be anything close to what he's been hyped up to as coming out of college? Because he hasn't been, and
If
it's
he
time to
doesn't,
talk
if
about
he
it.
doesn't this year with that offense,
Exactly. And
it's
and another
oh,
new offensive coach, like this is your shot, dude. Like this division is not strong. Like the Titans, I think will improve. I don't think they're the third worst team in the league. I like Cam Ward a little bit. I think he'll win some games. I'm not saying they're a playoff team or anything like that. I think their line's like right around correct. But the division's there for the taking. And if you can get Houston, you got a shot there. So I think if I play anything in this division from a win the division piece, I would sprinkle the Jags. I did sprinkle the Jags a little bit. Let me see what number I have.
plus
See if it's
300 I
still
got.
is it plus 300.
Yeah.
Um, it got it a little higher, but plus 300 still feels okay. I think there's a real shot they win the division. I think they're the only team that's going to contend with Houston. I'm so down on Anthony Richardson and the Colts.
What about Daniel Jones though?
I
Him and Tyler Warren, newly drafted tight end. Um, Daniel Jones inside in a much needed change of scenery there out of the Giants.
yes,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I could see him surprising some people this year.
I gotta see it. He looked just dreadful sometimes. I get it. It was the Giants. There was no offensive line.
I mean, how would you feel if every game you went to, your Giants were like flipping you the bird every time?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
yeah,
fuck this place. I don't want to play here.
yeah. And he did go learn from Kevin O'Connell, who's a great coach, and he's going to Steichen, who's another good coach. Um, it's a good opportunity. But this is it for Anthony Richardson too. Like this is
Oh yeah, yeah.
you gotta play, kid, and you gotta be good and consistent. I don't know if he's got the consistency in him.
I
Personally, I
don't.
didn't love
I
him
don't
on
think.
it
I
coming
don't
out of
think he's gonna
college.
be. He's not gonna be the starter. It's gonna be Daniel Jones. Watch.
Oof. Well, if that's the case, then I really don't like the Colts. I don't think. Not that I love Richardson, anyways. I don't. I really don't think it matters. They could be if they get quarterback play, the Colts could be good. I don't trust either guy enough right now to lay my money on it. I think the Jags are the team that have the most potential to upset Houston for that division.
That I would agree with. That I would agree with. But don't. And our good friend Craig pointed this out too. Like Colts could surprise some people this year. Not to
Yeah.
mention the whole Jim Irsay passing.
Now
Like
that
there is an effect on
is a
that.
factor.
As goofy as a guy as Jim Irsay was, like he was a very, very massive voice
They loved him.
in Indianapolis, and the fans are going to be right there behind him, and as they honor Jim Irsay this year.
Yeah.
So right, let's see how that vibe plays out throughout the year. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
We have the probably the highest competition coming out of the AFC West here. Chiefs minus 115 to win the division. Um, Chargers plus 310, Broncos plus 340, and the Raiders plus 1200 to win that division there. Um, if I were to pick anything, it would be to stay square with the Chiefs here. I feel like them getting absolutely blown out by the Eagles in the Super Bowl has people very down on this team, and they think that all of a sudden the Chiefs are just going to go off into the sunset and Travis Kelce's another year older. It just feels like everybody's down on the Chiefs. But let's not forget that Rashee Rice is going to be another year older. Uh, he's coming back. They're getting who the hell else? Just look. Xavier Worthy is
He's
entering his
back.
second year. They still have Hollywood Brown, who came on last year late. They drafted this kid in the fourth round, Royals or whatever. I don't know much about him, but they just signed Trey Smith to a massive contract or guard there. Um, and then Isaiah Pacheco is probably gonna be healthy this year after a very inconsistent year in terms of injury for him. I don't know. I would just if I can get the Chiefs that close to even money, like I'm fine with it. What about you?
Out.
You're out. Okay,
Under
so
11 and a half. And I don't think they win the division this year, actually. I think they take a step back. I think they're a playoff team. 11 and a half wins feels high. Um, their offensive line didn't just lose the Super Bowl. They got manhandled. And I know not every team's Philly, but like they made a lot of changes on that line. And I don't think I like any of them. Jalen Moore was a backup for the 49ers. He didn't start left tackle for them. He filled in okay for Trent Williams when he was out. But I thought that was a very interesting move. I don't love it. And when you have Patrick Mahomes, I think you need to love your left tackle. Maybe I'm way off here, but I watched a lot of I watched a lot of Jalen Moore and he was fine. I'd say that he was fine. And like I don't know, when you're protecting Mahomes' backside, I think you want a little more than fine. My 2 cents there. The other thing is uh, they need a running game. Like, is Pacheco going to be back? His running style, like he runs like a lunatic, and I love that about him.
he's only 26 years old though.
Yeah,
I know he's
but
been around for a while, but still, like this is where he's entering his prime.
can he get back to that? He was
Sure.
not himself last year at all.
I think he
I
was just banged up, but
possibly they definitely get healthier in the wide receiver room. Travis Kelsey, that guy I thought for sure was going to retire. I think he should have retired. Like I, he just looks slow, Tuck. Like he still can get open. He's not
yeah,
bad, but
he's
like,
gonna turn into a red zone weapon,
yeah,
and they're just gonna unleash him in the playoffs. I'm not going near him for fantasy this year.
yeah,
Not that that's a really scorching hot take or anything, but yeah, the days of like elite Travis Kelsey are behind us, and I think they're just gonna like manage his workload until the playoffs. That's my
most likely. That's if that's a smart play because they'll be there. They'll be there. But another key loss was Justin Reed, was a key part of that defense last year. The safety, um, they lost him. This all comes down to can their offensive line, the changes they made, can they Can they compete? Can they like what's going to happen? I just worry about that for Mahomes. Like you have the best quarterback in the league. Like maybe give him a line. And I feel like they didn't do enough there personally. And that division just got better. Like Denver's defense is unbelievable. I think the Chargers are better overall. Even the Raiders made some good moves. Like that division is tough. And
What's the
they're also
Raiders?
playing a first place schedule.
What's
So
the Raiders win total?
let me go back to it. They are at, I did not bet this, so hold on. Las Vegas. They are at, they're basically at 7. You can get them on DraftKings over 6.5 minus 145, over 7.5 plus 140. So it's laying about, it's laying about 7 even.
I kind of like the over.
The thing with them is they're just in a tough spot because that division is loaded. Like
Yeah,
Denver's defense is going to
but they
be,
finally get a coach, right?
yes, they have,
PPO.
well,
Like I know he's old and everything, but you get a coach and a quarterback who know each other. You just drafted this phenom running back in
mhm,
Ashton Genty. I don't know, man. I feel like that 6.5 is a little like I think
it's low.
right. I think it's right, but I could see them getting 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah, they also signed Mostert, who I like. Is a decent second back there. Um, they re-signed Max Crosby, I believe. So
Massive move.
that's done. Locked up your best player. I'd lean that way. I just worry that the division is so much like they're
Yeah.
three of the best teams in the AFC. Never
All
mind,
right.
like
So who do you like for the division then? Because you don't like the Chiefs.
I'm bought in on the Chargers this year. I did it. I think Harbaugh gets the job done.
They didn't do a ton in the offseason.
They did not, but I think what they did last year was build stability. Um, just seeing the way Herbert played, it wasn't like he's not like the big fantasy guy most weeks that people expected out of him. But the guy when he's on is a top 10 quarterback, knocking down the door of top 5. I know I shit on him a lot on the show, but like the way he plays with that style, adding Lad McConkey, I
I'll,
did
I'll
like
say
that they brought Mike Williams back because he seems to play be okay there. Like he'll be a decent receiver. Quentin
I'll say this.
Johnson, like
I'll say this about Herbert. I think it was the most confident he's looked in his NFL career last year was under Harbaugh.
yes, no question about it. He had a real quarterback coach. Like he
Yeah.
knew, like that's the thing. Like go from Brandon Staley to Jim Harbaugh is a massive leap, right? The move I really liked that they made was actually Mekhi Becton, like going out and getting him. I think really good for that offensive line. I think at times, like especially in the playoffs against Houston, leaky there. Um, Becton came in. He's going to play guard for them. Like
That, that,
that's a
that's
good move
that's pretty solid with Joe Alt on the
with
right
Joe
side.
Alt there. Yeah, like and they're going to run the ball down your throat. I think Najee Harris said it earlier. I think he'll be a better fit with the Chargers. That line is good.
Oh,
That's
Marion
considered you can
Hampton they
see.
drafted
Yep.
in the
They get
first round, right?
Marion Hampton. He'll be the starter. So like that's a 1-2 punch that they can run right down your throat. They play very physical on defense. Um, yeah, I like the Chargers this year. I think they finally get over the hump of Kansas City. I think they get the job done, but it's a 3-horse race in this one because I like Denver too. So first of all, going back to the Chargers, I did bet them um, over 9.5 wins. I think they get to 10
Okay.
plus.
Is that an official
That's an official play for me
uh,
on the show. The only division I really haven't bet anything yet is the AFC South. I sprinkled a little bit on the Jags plus 320 is what the number I got to win the division, but that's a small bet, not like a something I'd say if you want a long shot there. I think the Jags are worth it. But back to the West, I have the Chargers to win the West. I have the Chargers over the 9.5, and then for me. Let's see what the division. I would go to my actual. What's the current line? I want to get the current line because I bet a lot of these a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry, so for what?
I get the Chargers over 9.5 wins, and I'm just looking at the divisions now. 1 second.
I have it in front of me, divisions.
Okay, what do you
Chargers
got?
plus 310.
310. Yeah, that's still good in my opinion. I really like that number. Anything above 3 is worth that for me.
Okay.
Just like it.
Um Do you think Bo Nix takes a step back this year? I feel like he does.
He may. I think second year with Sean Payton's going to help, but I still think you see it so often with these, especially the quarterback positions with the sophomore slump. But um, even if he does, they've done so much on that defensive side of the ball through the draft and the offseason. Like that defense is, if they can stay healthy, my God, I don't see how they're not the best defense in football, really. I mean, they signed Trey Greenlaw, who was healthy at the end of last year. They signed Teleno Funga, great player, but can he stay healthy? They have Surtain. They are
That
just
kid Barron.
yep, they drafted Barron, who's the best cornerback coming into the league, into the draft, at least again on paper. But they signed Evan Engram. They get Bo Nix a tight end, which I thought was very important for a young quarterback to have a reliable tight end. So like I like the moves Denver made. I don't think anybody they lost was really a big deal. Like Javonte Williams, fine. He's Sabati. I think it opens up more carries for Audric Estime, who I think can be what Javonte Williams was supposed to be. So I actually think that's a plus for them, letting him walk and getting Estime the ball. And they love Jaleel McLaughlin. They did
Oh,
draft
J.K.
Tyler,
Dobbins. I didn't even
and
realize.
Dobbins is there now. So they're gonna go committee there, and I
Drafted
like
Steve
that.
Harvey. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So for me, I really like the Broncos. Betting wise, though,
What are they at?
they are at over 9.5 minus 105, over 10.5 plus 165. So they like them more than the Chargers in the betting market. I think but it's close. I think the Chargers are slightly better because I'll take Herbert over Knicks right now. Right now, we'll see if Knicks has another good year like last
No,
year,
I'm
then
with you on that.
we flip. But for now, it's Herbert with Harbaugh over Knicks with Peyton for me. But the
Um,
defense is going to be real good.
One thing to keep an eye on with that Broncos offense is that in the last quarter of the year, Marvin Mims really
Oh yeah,
exploded and
yep,
showed some chemistry with that offense with Bo Nix.
hmm
Keep an eye on him as actually being like a solid weapon
yeah,
for the entire year.
yep. Good call, and it's a
Note on
good
that.
compliment to Sutton. But again, with those two plus Engram,
So underrated. So underrated.
yep, those two plus Engram, and then the running game, like they're going to be a good team. The key is can Knicks take a step forward, not a step back for me. I'm not sure. Well, year
Yeah.
two is always tough.
In terms of who is coming out of the AFC, Matt,
Mhm.
what's popping out to you? We have the Ravens plus 350, tied with the Bills at plus 350. Chiefs are plus 400. Bengals are plus 1,000, and the Texans are plus 1,200. That's just the top five there. What's standing out to you, Matthew?
I haven't bet anything yet, but
Not what I asked.
I would just like to clarify, just because I'm going to give. I do think the Ravens are the team to beat in the AFC. I think they had Buffalo on the ropes last year, and Mark Andrews dropped that ball. They had a year to think about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
They had a year to think about that. I just if the, if they can stay healthy, they're just so unique, and they play a style that's just tough to beat in the playoffs. And until Buffalo does it, I can't get there with them. I can't. I know I love Josh Allen.
I think it's a McDermott thing, man.
I do too. I'm
He's a
not a
good coach,
McDermott
but I
guy.
don't know if he can get them over that hump.
Over the hump. Yeah, it's just something that stops Buffalo every year. I want it to be Buffalo. I think the Ravens should be the favorite in the AFC. Personally, I get why Buffalo's got a really easy strength of schedule comparative to um most teams that finished in first. So we'll see. Week one, they get the Ravens at home. Sunday night football. Going to start it off right with those two, but I'd
Well,
still lean the Ravens for me.
I'll
But they're
say
another
this.
team that doesn't get it done. I mean, this is Lamar too, and he hasn't got there. There are two teams that just can't get there, and it's Mahomes in January is tough. But
Well, I was just going to bring this up is that Vegas doesn't think that the AFC Championship game is going to be played at Arrowhead this year.
yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that's very interesting.
I'm with
So
them.
you're so. you're kind of in the camp of like this might be it for like that dynasty of Reed and Mahomes because Reed's not getting he's getting up there, man. Like I don't know how much longer Reed's gonna be sticking around here.
Never say never. The Chiefs will be there. They'll be in the mix. I'm telling you right now, they'll be in the mix. I
Oh
think
yeah,
11
sure.
and a half is too high. I think they're a playoff team and you get them in the playoffs. I don't know anybody that
They'll
wants
be
to
in
see
the
Patrick
playoffs.
Mahomes come through their building either. It doesn't matter if it's at Arrowhead or not. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to be the one seed. I think they'll be there. And once January comes, he's tough to bet against.
But if they face like Joe Burrow in the divisional round,
That's the thing. Like, well,
I'm taking Joe Burrow probably there.
the one team that's had the Chiefs number.
Yeah,
So
that's a possibility.
I think it's a real possibility that they could see each other in the playoffs, and we would be on probably on the Bengals, depending on where the game is, what the number is. Of course, that all matters with health, all that. But all things being even, I'd probably lean Cincy in that. If they were playing Week 1 on a neutral, I might take Cincy.
I'm right there with you. All right, let me just recap here, and if you want to add anything, feel free. I just want to make sure you're in line with what I wrote down. Miami under 7.5. Comfortable with 6.5.
You're just paying a lot of juice, but I like, or you're gonna get plus a plus number, excuse me, with that. Take the 7.5. The minus 105 is just it's a nice price. I mean,
All right,
that's
so
worth it.
Miami under 7.5. Steelers over 8.5.
Yes.
Chargers over 9.5, and a
Yes.
sprinkle on the division at plus 310.
Yep.
Jags sprinkle plus 300 to win the division.
Yep.
That's all I have. Anything
I
else
have the
for
Chiefs
Chiefs
under
under?
11 and a half. You say that? If I
I'm
missed
sorry.
that.
I'm
Nope,
sorry.
you're good. That's the other one.
Under 11.5. Anything else on the AFC?
Real quick, the like the Jags win total, I like a lot. Um,
8.5.
it's 7.5 minus 125, which is a great value number. I like it at over 8.5 as well, plus 140. I would not go any higher than that, but I've played both over 7.5 and 8.5.
Good.
Um, 7.5 at minus 125 feels like a steal right now. Again, I could eat my words because maybe I'm putting too much confidence here in
I'll say
thinking that Trevor
this.
Lawrence will have a good year, but that number's too low for me.
I'll say this is that it does feel like the Jags are a popular play.
Yeah, that's okay.
Teetering square, but sometimes square wins, as we say here on the show, right?
Let me ask you this, Tuck. How many average bettors do you think have already put money on a total so far this year?
Average, like you're looking talking about a percentage.
I take you, like
I have
you
not.
call yourself the guy that on the couch.
Yeah.
How many bets have you
I would probably
placed?
realistically, if I was not doing this, I would start looking at futures right around week 1 of the preseason.
I think that's about right.
Okay.
I don't think people have turned on to football yet. The average person. Now, I think people have. I think there are definitely people out there that have already put money on teams. That's
It's
not to say
usually right around
everybody.
now after the MLB All-Star break where people start to like get that feel
Yeah.
of training camp kicking off, which
Mhm.
is like 10 days away, right?
Yeah, we're close, baby. We're
You're
close.
going to see some
There's a
movement
game
here.
this month.
Oh, yeah, the stupid Hall of Fame game that I tune in for literally 2 minutes just to see
I'll watch
the
the whole
ball on my
thing.
television.
Lock
And then
the under in right now for me.
who's playing in that?
I don't even know. I didn't look at that. Who's playing the preseason, but we're betting the under, guys, and it's going to be like 29 and a half. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to watch it. We're going to live stream it.
Live stream the Hall of Fame game. Um, all right. Any final thoughts on our AFC Futures podcast here, Matt?
No. Like we said earlier, we'll come back with some props for you guys, what we like.
Yeah.
We'll just do an
Well,
entire NFL prop show. It doesn't have to be by division, like
yeah. So we'll do
conference.
like I mentioned, we'll do NFC next week, and then we'll do all the MVP shit in the third episode. And want to mention that we hit Jaden Daniels, rookie of
Rookie of the
the year
year,
last year.
Eagles Super Bowl.
Eagles
That
Super
will
Bowl.
give it. We'll give
That
out the Super Bowl winner, who I think is
oh,
going to win
that
the
that
Super
will be in
Bowl.
the third episode.
That'll be
Is
in the third one.
Super
Yeah,
Bowl. Yes.
I've played it.
Okay. Let's not talk.
Not even teasing it. I'm teasing it
Yeah.
because we get
Good
people
tease.
back to listen.
Great tease, Matt.
Yeah,
Love the tease.
big market tease, Tuck,
Love it.
as you would say.
I would don't say that. That's stupid.
Well,
People say that too much, and it drives me bananas. But
small market tease,
mid market.
mid market. All right, I
Yeah.
like that mid market tease.
All right. So if you have any questions, hit us up on socials. At Bettor In-Laws on Instagram, X, and TikTok, like I mentioned. That's the best way to contact us. And of course, subscribe to us on YouTube and leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. We'll do all this again next week, but on the NFC side of things, Matt, we'll look forward to it then. And
Okay.
we'll talk then.
All right, brother.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.